Well, hello and welcome to the Pack Your Passport podcast. My name is Brittany. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're watching or listening wherever you are watching and listening today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. I know your time is so valuable. I know that you're so busy. We were just saying before this that there's never a good time to do anything because we're all busy, right? Mia's nodding her head in case you're listening. So today I'm really excited because one question I see or hear a lot and get in some form or shape or another is, how do I use social media? Do I need social media? How do I post? My answer is always that it's a loaded question because, first of all, you don't really need to use social media. You can choose to use whatever you want in your marketing strategy. I do think it's a good idea to have social media just because of where we are in the world. That is the public square now, is online, right? We're not even just going online anymore. Our lives are online. It's so weird when we think of it that way, but it is important. It's a good skill to have, set of skills to have. So welcome to the show, Mia.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yay, I'm really excited to hear from you and have other people hear from you. So, Nia, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do in this whole travel world? Because you do a lot. You're not just an agent.
Hi, guys. I'm Mia. I am a traveler of 20 years, primarily solo travel. I actually traveled the first time as an unaccompanied minor at the age of 12. And my first airline that I ever flew on was to Ontario, California on Alaska Airlines. Full circle moment. I now work for the ramp side of Alaska Airlines. I lived in India for years as an exchange student. So I kind of think that sparked my into adulthood travel. And once I worked for an airline, it just opened up all the possibilities to be able to travel more affordably and to travel more often. So now I can travel every week if I want to on my 3 days off. Before I even got in with the airline job, I had joined as a travel agent and I've now been doing that for almost 4 years, right? Yeah, I think it's been almost 4 years. Pretty crazy. So yeah, my whole entire life, my whole entire world is travel. And I'm single, so I just kind of get out there, travel the world and experience it. I bring that to social media. I learned through all the nitty gritty and how I can help people.
Yes, I love that. You can really see that in your content too. It's so cool because you have all this experience as a solo traveler yourself. You have experience working in the aviation industry, which is so cool because that's one of those travel jobs that so many people look into. I know that me and I think everyone I know at some point have considered, should I be a flight attendant? My answer was no, because I was like, man, I just was telling Mia how tired I am and at 6 o'clock. I do not know how these flight attendants do it. They have insane schedules, but the perks are great. The cool thing is, you don't just have to be a flight attendant to get the perks, right? You can just work a different role with the airline. So, what is a ramp agent? Like, if I was to go to the airport today, where would I see you working?
That's actually where I started, was just a regular ramp agent, and they're the ones that handle the baggage. A lot of the times you'll see them at the plane being the ones that are putting the bags in the plane, but they also do the water, they do the labs. They also are in the baggage carousel stacking the carts and then the carts that go out to the aircraft that have all the bags in them. So there's a lot of moving parts. And then you can bump up to a lead ramp agent, which I also did. And they're the ones that actually push out the aircrafts. Because, fun fact, I did not know this until I was a ramp agent or learning aviation, that the planes can't back up themselves. So it's actually pushed out by a ramp crew, and the ramp crew has control of the aircraft until it's released. And I'm now a safety specialist, so I've moved up into a leadership role. I oversee and audit the other ramp agents and teach them kind of like my wisdom that I've learned along the way. But there's so many different roles within the ramp world because you have your management team, you have your supervisors, and within management team there's so many different spots. So there's always a lot of moving up and a lot of opportunities. You can be a trans runner and just run bags gate to gate. You can be in the bag wall and stack the bags in the cart, or you can be the ramp agent that's loading them and stacking them in the plane. Lots of different moving parts and roles out there, but it's not always the most glamorous job. You're definitely working in every element, the heat, the rain, the snow, all of it. But it is one of the most rewarding jobs at the end of the day because, yes, it's hard work, but at the end of the day, you have something to be so proud of. And those moments in between where you get downtime, it's like gold.
I think it's so interesting because when I look at your personality, you're so outgoing and creative and fun. Like, even your persona on TikTok, you can see the fun come through. And yet, safety specialist is like the most strict job with regulations. Aviation is a highly regulated industry. She's shaking her head, yes. So I think it's so funny that you have like two sides to you. And I have that too, right? I was just telling someone the other day, when it comes to business, money, and numbers, I'm very serious, right? Strategic. But on the other hand, obviously I love travel and it's so fun and it lights me up and energizes me. I'm glad that you shared about the job. I think you have the most amazing perk balance, by the way, right? Like the cheap flights, the non-rev flights, and then also like all the travel agent perks. So you really have like gamed it, which is so cool.
My friends think it's weird that I'm a safety specialist as well, because I am kind of the goofy risk taker type, very adventurous. And this role, I'm like making sure that people aren't doing that. So yeah.
That is really fun. Yeah, it is so funny. But I thought about that as a teacher too, because I was like, man, I was so sneaky as a kid. Like I would just push the boundaries, see what I could get away with. Because of that, I would know what to look out for, right? I was like, ah, no, you can't get away with it. I know exactly what you're doing. Because I feel like it makes sense that those people are drawn to those rules. Tell us a little bit about your niche or specialty or destination focus when it comes to travel. That's one of the biggest things that agents really struggle with is figuring out what am I an expert in? What am I really good at? How do I find that? And how did you find yours?
I'm going to be honest, that's something I still struggle with. I feel like I tend to gravitate more toward the beach goer type because it's the type of travel I do. So it's so easy for me to talk about. But I also do a lot locally with like hiking and just being outdoors in general. I'm multifaceted in that way. So I do have a harder time niching down. But I think the content that seems to be the most attractive to people is a lot of the times those beachy tropical vacations, because people only dream of going there. So it's like when you can show them how it's possible in an affordable way, people get excited about that and they're like, wait, I want to be a part of that too. So I feel like I kind of niche in like budget friendly luxury type vacations where you're not having to pay this insane amount for a luxury vacation, but you're still getting a lot of the similar perks and having a similar experience, but more on a budget friendly scale. I think I'm going to tap a little bit more into solo travel because so many women are so scared to travel. And I've been getting so many questions in the DMs about solo travel. And clearly that is something that is absolute like second nature to me. So
So true. It's so funny. Like I remember when solo travel was really starting to gain some headway. And I was like, what? Like I've been doing this. Like I've been doing this like for so long. I was kind of surprised to see it as a trend, but it makes sense. We have to remember as travel agents that we tend to travel more than other people. We tend to travel more frequently. And I was just telling someone like I pack last minute and stuff because I'm like, I've done it so many times. I don't need to sit there and think, for weeks on end, what I'm going to put in my suitcase. But that's me. My client is thinking and dreaming about this months in advance. They don't get to travel internationally so often. Mia's shaking her head again. But I think we have to put ourselves in the shoes of the people we're serving. And when you're talking about those budget luxury trips, I know exactly what you mean because I'm just even thinking about the colors you use. I think that's something that you've really mastered, Mia, is branding and vibe. When I go onto your content, that is what I see. I see the pink, the teal. It's very feminine, like girly. That is you, right? Like I have met you in person actually. But I'm saying like, even if I hadn't met you in person, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know her. Like I get what she's about. So I feel like you've done a really good job with that. Let's head into that because I think that's part of your special sauce. And that's what I was going to ask you is like, what do you think makes you unique? But I think that's part of it. And I think that because you have a personal brand, you can get away with having a more fluid niche because people are like, okay, I get the vibe, right? Like Bali, girl gang, Australia, like that's what I would go to you for. And solo travel, that totally makes sense because it's that inspirational, aspirational content. Let's talk about TikTok. That is one question I get a lot, and I have dabbled in TikTok, but I don't really focus on it. It's not because I don't like it or want to. I think TikTok did some amazing things for social media and internet. We have moved away from just needing to have followers to now it's more about the individual piece of content. Like every single video you create has this opportunity to get in front of hundreds of thousands or even millions of people. And it just blows my mind to think about it. But it can be really intimidating. Video can be intimidating. So I would love to hear one, because I actually don't know the answer to this question. What made you start going on TikTok? And then two, what do you think has made you successful on there?
I'm so glad you asked me the question of why I got on TikTok because I haven't thought about that in so long. It's going to be super funny. And I honestly, now I want to talk about it on TikTok, why I started it. I was actually into Musically. So I don't know if everybody remembers Musically, but Musically ended up turning into TikTok. So it's the same exact platform. It just got renamed to TikTok from Musically. I started on Musically in my first year of healing journey. I wanted to start hyping myself up every day. I wanted to hype up other people because I wanted to take people on this journey with me. So I actually started just taking videos dancing around my house to like sounds, to whatever the sounds were, whatever's trending at the time. And it wasn't for viewers or anything else. It was just simply made me feel better. I already dance around my house. I called it these dance breaks. So that's what it turned into. It's just me dancing around my house all the time, sometimes just falling on my bed. And then when it became TikTok, I just saw how much flow was happening and how many people were starting to integrate their way over there. And I was like, ooh, I kind of want to tap into this. Now I feel like I have this video energy. So I have no struggle there. But turning it into a business, that took a while. I actually didn't start the travel business aspect of it on TikTok until probably this last like year and a half. And it blew up immediately. It was crazy. It was crazy how it blew up. So you asked how I started. And then what was the other question so I don't jump ahead?
Yeah, I appreciate that. You're such a good interviewer, by the way. What's working right now? Or like, why do you think you were successful? So I guess we'll start with why do you think you were successful looking back now? Because now that you can kind of see it strategically, and then we'll move on to what's working right now. I'd love to hear.
I think what makes me successful and what makes somebody on TikTok successful is when they are authentic because people will read BS from a mile away. Especially since the pandemic happened, a lot of people got onto TikTok, and that's kind of what made this platform blow up. But for those of us who are already pretty active before the pandemic, we already kind of had a sense of how this app worked. But that pandemic absolutely changed TikTok and the trajectory of TikTok. So I think what makes me successful is that I'm truly authentic and I bring advice that goes against the grain a little bit. So a lot of people want to share the foofy, pretty side of travel, but not a lot of people want to talk about the authentic side of travel. And I think that's where I bring in a different element. And I think that's what separates me from the rest. Because I'll be honest, when I started a business travel TikTok, I was a little apprehensive that the industry was saturated and that I wasn't going to be able to have my way in the social media realm when there's people with millions of followers. But like you said, followers do not matter. In fact, I watched a video on my way into work today where this girl made a TikTok video and 2 months later, out of nowhere, it just blew up and it brought her like $13,000. The important thing that I definitely want to mention if you're thinking about starting a business on social media and if you're thinking about TikTok is if you're scared to be in front of the camera, I challenge you to just do it. Just do it once, do it again, do it again. It gets so much easier, but I will tell you the more and more you do it, the more comfortable you will get. And I would not be nervous of what people think because there's so many different types of people on TikTok and they're all doing well. I'm talking farmers with 8 kids are now putting out on social media, hey, I heard there's a trend where you can help pay bills by just liking and commenting. Like, I need a new truck. If you guys can help me out and give me a like and a comment, this guy's never made a video in his life. And he's out there like killing it. And I'm like, what? So I challenge you to definitely put yourself out there and not be scared because it is, I feel like one of the least judgmental social medias. It's crazy because I don't feel any judgment whatsoever on videos. And I mean, I've gotten a couple comments here and there, but the amount of good comments and the amount of praise outweigh the two maybe trolls that come in.
Yeah, so true. I just think about all the opportunity, right? I can't not think about opportunity when I think about social media. We might not be in a time forever where you can just get in front of strangers without paying. Like that blows my mind. That is amazing. When you think about even 10, 20 years ago, you had to go in the yellow pages, they do a billboard, you had to do an ad. These things that costed thousands of dollars. Now anybody with a phone, which is basically anybody, can go and build a platform and share what they want to say. And I just think that is such a beautiful, incredible thing. I think we're living in an amazing time, and I don't think that's going to be around forever. So just imagine we're sitting here thinking, I have to make a video. I have to look a certain way or whatever. And I get in my head about it too. I'm really self-conscious about my teeth. I've gotten comments about it before on video, which is just awful. But I have to also remind myself, I look at all the opportunities I've gotten and I'm like, why would I not do that? It's worth it even with the comments because guess what? People are going to say mean things no matter what. Sometimes you just go in the wrong Facebook group and you ask a question and you're like, oh my gosh, people in here are so brutal. Like, why? I think it always comes down to their misery, right? They're taking it out on you. It's they have to work on themselves and you really just can't take it personally. But yeah, I think just like creating a video, that's how you get better. And I also want to mention, because I just said that Mia is such a great communicator, part of that is probably because of the short form video. You do not have time to mess around. On Reels and on TikToks, people are brutal, right? It's like not even a second flick, flick, flick. Like you have to get to the point. I have seen so many YouTube videos where they just waft about for the first 5 minutes and you're like, I came to find to solve a problem. You didn't answer Like I looked at the thumbnail, you said you were going to talk about this. You haven't talked about this. It's kind of like breaking a promise with me, right? On TikTok, you don't get that chance. Here's how to do XYZ. You have to go right into it. And I think that is a different way that maybe we're not used to, especially if you haven't been on the app for a while. I think studying the app actually is really great advice because she just said she was on it for a while. Like just spend some time actually consuming content. Set a timer though, or else you'll be on there for hours because those TikTok engineers, man, they know what they're doing. Like you can just get sucked into a hole. But really pay attention to what the culture is because there's a whole culture on TikTok and then there's like subcultures, right? You'll hear people say like, oh, I'm on the teacherpreneur side of TikTok or oh, I'm on the travel TikTok now. You'll find TikTok algorithm is beautiful at doing this. It'll figure out what you like and it'll find other things that you want to consume. It's not influencer based anymore. It's actually customer centric. It's what do you like? What do you want to see? And it will figure that out based on the interactions you do there. If you can become a more clear communicator, which is a good skill to have no matter what you do in life, I think you could be really successful on there. And I totally hear what you're saying about the vibe, right? The farmer with 8 kids. You do not have to be fancy. I think that was another revolution. Instagram has always been aesthetic. YouTube is a lot of diversity too, but it helps to have a nice camera setup and nice lighting. We're on YouTube right now. I have a ring light. It's not perfect, but it's still like you have to have a decent mic. You can't have crummy sound and stuff on here. You just can't, right? But on TikTok, it's just a little more forgiving. So I really like that. And thank you so much for sharing the practical advice.
I feel like on TikTok, there's just been a lot of support. I feel like there is a very, very supportive side to it. I was also on YouTube before I was on TikTok. So I totally get the whole thumbnail and then they want you to kind of like build the suspense up till the point. That was harder for me. It's funny because I'm such a talker, but it was actually harder for me to do those longer form videos. So in the newest update with TikTok, I was a little bummed because now that you can do 30-minute videos, which is just crazy. I was cool with the 10-minute cap. So if there's a like almost like a mini course you want to do for 10 minutes, I liked having that, but 30 minutes, I'll probably never really utilize that option unless I'm selling some kind of course or something.
Yeah, and it's so funny how the advice that we are giving right now is to be yourself and find a way to stand out and like be really clear about what you believe and who you are. But what's so funny is the big companies do the exact opposite. They all just rip each other off and copy each other. That's not what you want to do as a travel agent. Like you really want to actually figure out what is the best platform for you. I really like podcasting because I can have some more time to clarify my thoughts. I can also go off on tangents, and I feel like it's a way to get really deep. I really like the nurturing phase, right? You really need 3 things. You need a way to get discovered. You need a way to nurture people who are already listening to you. And you need a way to sell. I love that middle stage so much. It's why I love Facebook groups. It's why I love podcasts because there's already a relationship there. But you really need all 3, right? You need all 3 because you need people to keep finding you, but you also need a way to talk to those people. And then you need to sell. Because otherwise you just have a whole bunch of friends, which I mean, it's cool, but then you don't make any money, right? So you need to have a platform for each place. What is working well for you right now? And also, do you mind if I go and look through your TikTok and we do a little analysis over which videos are going well? Are you cool with that?
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all.
This is kind of fun for me to see what I think did well, because that's a thing too. Our metrics, what we measure as doing well, quote unquote, we're so used to the follower model, right? Like, oh, you have more followers, or this video got lots of views. That might be good. I mean, it can help to get in front of more people. It does some things for you, for people taking you more seriously, like more authority and things. But I'll tell you, I just had a video go viral on another Instagram account, or viral for me, not viral for you. You have way more than I do. But mine, I had like 11,000 views and not one of them bought from me. It was just because of the sound I used. It didn't really matter that much. I'm just going to take a little quick look.
Second pinned video is the one that made my page explode. So that might be a good example.
Okay, let's look at it.
This is why you should definitely be scheduling to take a morning flight.
Boom, right there. You got right to the point. This is why you should be scheduling a morning flight, right? So I can see right there, like why that was popular.
Travel smarter, not harder.
This is me. Why should I listen to you? Yeah, you definitely have the format.
You're getting a fresh crew. They're just starting their day.
And I'm also just going to look at the comments real quick. I beg to differ. Oh, interesting. Interesting. But you know what, though? Those are always good. I feel like anything that has a strong opinion, right? That's always good, too, because then people start talking. 20 years lies, respectfully. I'll take that. You can't check into 3 or 4, possibly 1. What do you do for 4 to 5 hours? These are really good questions. Do you get content ideas? Because this is what I would do. Do you go through your comments and like, oh, I'm going to make a video replying to that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'll say to this is from these comments, this is where it gave me a direction on my page. So one, I learned controversial videos do the best. It was funny because after I'd done this video, I think you'd mentioned that in a training, but yeah, controversial videos absolutely do the best. So I posted a few more that have done really, really well. The 20 years thing made me rearrange how I do my intro. So I used to say I'm a traveler of 20 years. Last People assumed that I'd also been a travel agent and an airline employee for 20 years. And that's where they were having a hard time. Like, no, you are not that old. So now it made me rearrange and put the 20 years solo traveling first. So then they didn't correlate that 20 years to the travel agent and the airline employee.
I think that's really good. The fact that you responded, that you listened, and that you also thought critically about why might that get a bad response. I think that shows the fact that you are so strategic, and also your integrity, right? Like, cause you're like, I don't want to lie to people, or I don't want people to
Mhm.
misunderstand. So I think that's really cool that you went above and beyond to be super clear. And that's also probably helped your communication skills because you're always thinking about distilling down that message. Let me see what other some comments are here.
Those comments did give me something. Like when people are like, well, what do I do when I get there too early? I actually made a video to that of what you can do in between those times. So it does give me content ideas. Yes.
Yeah. If you don't know what to do, just start posting, right? And then like eventually you will get better and you'll get ideas. Oh, travel agent team call on there. Interesting. Oh, okay. Did you get just curious about this? So we also talk a little bit about other income streams too, because to supplement. Is this a Amazon storefront thing?
Yes. That's what blew up and that's what got me Amazon influencer. And I literally am in my worst format. I'm in my PJs, like looking not so great, opening my impulse buy, my impulse Amazon buy blew up and I got Amazon influencer. I'd been trying for 2 years to get that.
I wish I could because I was like, man, I have so many things around my house. Oh, I want to get there so bad. They don't take a Facebook personal profile as anything. My route is now just to go on YouTube. It's like if I can just get on YouTube up to probably go for a couple thousand subscribers before I do that. But anyway, things to be thinking about. So this is another reason, right? It's like have the content so that you can position yourself as an authority and so that people find you, but also gets you other opportunities. So I love that. What's this one? I can't see from the thumbnail. Tips if you are
The airline
first time
job,
flying
like
on a
you guys
plane. Oh, that's really good. And that makes sense too, because of thinking about your job, by then you're really gaining authority because you're like, this is my job. Are you wearing yeah.
wear the airline job, but you guys
That's like
have
your uniform thing, right? Yeah,
Yep.
smart.
At my airline job.
Yeah, that's smart because I feel like when you're wearing that, it's like, oh, she's legit. She actually works there. That's another thing I feel like it's really important on TikTok is trust. You can lose trust so quickly on TikTok. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but they're looking for a reason not to trust you. That's like why people wanted to go to TikTok after Instagram. Instagram was so much about showing you the best that it almost made people feel like they couldn't trust different influencers. That's a really interesting movement in social media. You're also really good with your thumbnails of like having the facial expressions. I feel like that's a big YouTube thing, like the open mouth or like, like the expression. So I feel like you're really good with that too. I can also tell that you have the different colors on the same kind of a cover, the title cover. I think that looks more cohesive. Yeah. Any other tips? Any other ideas?
I'm glad that you mentioned the cover photo thing because if you scroll further down, I used to use the green and I loved it and I thought it was so cute. And then I watched a training video where they said that it actually makes it look outdated and not attractive. I always thought that little bubble was cute, but apparently to the general population, it makes it look outdated. So they suggested using the white or the black boxes. Well, on my other account, I use the black one. So I decided on this one to use the white one. And I will say I have gotten more views and more people going through my videos. So maybe that actually worked. But I always try to title it so when someone wants to look for a certain question or piece of advice, it's right there and easy to grab. But yeah, I do have a pretty set format of you want to have a hook and you want to let them know right away what they're going to be watching for. Because if you don't let them know, it's TikTok. They're going to just scroll to the next thing. So you definitely want to get right to the point or have some kind of a hook where I'm like, I'm at the airline job. I didn't say the title yet, but I'm at the airline job. The other thing you want to do too to get into the TikTok SEO is to also put something in the beginning when you're saying the hook about what the video is going to be about. Because if you don't type anything in your TikTok video about what the video is about, TikTok doesn't know how to categorize you. If you have a search box with something in it, that means TikTok has categorized you in this section. So if you don't have a search box, that means they don't know how to categorize you. So that's a big problem because you at least want to be in some kind of a search and you want TikTok to know how to categorize you. So often I'll be in travel or travel tips or something like that. And then you want to introduce yourself so people know who you are. I would say 3 things that separate you or 3 reasons why people should trust you, but like 3 things that separate you. One of my friends that's now an agent on my team, she's actually got a college degree, a bachelor's degree in environmental science. And she goes, yeah, but how do I relate that to travel? I said, Your niche is safari and animals. You have a bachelor's degree in environmental science and you do state jobs where you're working out in the field. People need to know that's exactly why to trust you. When we went through the same study program, I sat down and went side by side with her on how to do this as well. She now has her three things. So, three things that are like why people should trust you, why they would come to you, why they should listen to you, and then what you do for them. So, I teach people how to travel smarter, not harder. Hers is I travel to work, not work to travel. It's just some kind of catchy phrase that just represents you. Then you want to have your content. And I would highly suggest that first video that blew up for me, putting words in there. So if you're doing like, here's my 9 tips, type tip 1. And then when you get to number 2, type tip 2 so that people are seeing words. Also, captions help because there's a very large deaf community out there. And they love and appreciate so much when there's captions. So I definitely suggest if you're doing a lot of talking video to do captions. Then you want to end with some kind of call to action, whether it's follow me for more tips and advice, or give me a like, comment this, or if you want more discounts and deals on this, then put a heart in the comments or me in the comments. Some kind of call to action. You can also let people know if you have links in your bio. Like if I'm doing a product review for Amazon, then I'll say, you can find this in the link in my bio. I have a bunch of different travel recommendations, and these are products that I use or products I would recommend using. Also, if you're struggling to find the first video to do, this is what I did. You can Google whatever your niches, or like for me, what are people really needing help with in the travel industry, or what are people searching for? And I searched TikTok because that's my bread and butter. That's what I wanted to kind of like really focus on. And then I also searched Google and I got all these like different ideas of content. Another thing that I do is if it's something that I can talk about in that moment, cool. I'm going to type up notes. This is going to be my content. This is my plan for the week or whatever video. Or if it's something I need to go research, I will leave it in my notes. One of the ones that I'm working on right now is advice from TSA people. Everywhere I travel, I'm actually interviewing all the TSA people if I can get a moment, and I get their advice. Hey, what would help you in the TSA line? Or what are some common things that you see from travelers that if you could tell everybody in the world about it, what would that be? I make notes, and when I'm traveling, I'm always working and I'm always building notes and things like that, which help build content. So some of those are research videos and some of them are just, tip videos or ones that are common questions. That would be like my biggest tips on TikTok.
That's a whole masterclass. I hope people are really paying attention. You think like a content creator because you're saying you're thinking about this stuff while you're traveling. You are in the habit of content creation, right? You're constantly recording. I do notice that you have done search in 2022 about that. We were talking about like searching, and you were searching on TikTok for restaurants. And that was like blowing my mind. So I'm like, you search on TikTok? That should have been already a preview because we've been noticing on the blogger side, 'cause I'm very much in the blogger community. A lot of people lost their traffic because Google's making all these weird changes. And also because people are changing. They don't always trust big companies anymore. So being able to go to TikTok and search for, actually, let me show you an example, either going directly to TikTok or searching on Google and having TikTok results come up. So I'm just going to actually put Mexican restaurant near me, Tucson. Let's see what comes up here. Okay, so I've got some places. There's a YouTube video. Okay, there's some TikTok videos. Interesting. So when you're talking about SEO or search engine optimization, anyone who's watching or listening, I get if you're like more old school and you're thinking like, yeah, but like, is social media really going to matter? Isn't it here today and gone tomorrow? Not anymore. Social media is like completely changed because of TikTok. Really, it's changing. And also it's good to have your stuff in more than one place. For this video, this is going to be a podcast. It's also on YouTube as a video. I'm going to repurpose it in short form video, right? I'm thinking about all these things in advance because I know you can't just have your stuff in one place anymore. All right. So someone might be watching or listening to this and they're thinking, that's great for you, Mia, but you're pretty, you're young. I'm just saying this is what they're going to say. You're pretty, you're young, you know content, you're so used to that. But what about me? And also, I'm a travel agent. I'm just trying to make more money and get more clients. So what would you say to someone? And also with that, Could you explain how you get someone from just maybe liking or commenting or watching a video to actually becoming a client? Because I think that's one of the coolest things you figured out how to do is to take someone from just watching a video then to actually booking a trip with you. First, what do you say to people who are saying, oh, not me? And then two, how do you get someone from a viewer or commenter to a client?
Anybody can do this. And I kind of said that back earlier that I feel like TikTok is such a caring community. Like the fact that there's this huge trend going on about paying off debt and people are literally like, tag me in the video, tag me in the video, I'll come support you, just goes to show the mass amount of people that are actually super supportive. Of course, with any social media, you're going to have your bad egg, but overall, this is one platform that I feel like is very, very supportive. One of the things that I was struggling with so much on YouTube is that in order to really have this presence, you had to like get this as like huge influencer status. And I've never felt like that on TikTok. I would say like I'm very micro on TikTok. I only have 3,000 followers. It's growing every day, but just me being me and then other people that I've seen on social media that are completely different of all ages, literally all ages. There's so many dog TikToks that I follow that I am so obsessed with. You don't even have to be a human. You can literally have a dog. It is so easy to grow on TikTok. It does not matter how you look, who you are, where you grow up. It's just a massive amount supportive community. And it's just getting out there and showing yourself. And people will see that. Some people might relate to me, but there are going to be other people that are going to relate to you that aren't going to relate to me because you bring something different to the table than I do. And that's why it's important to put yourself out there so they can relate to you.
Bingo, exactly right. But a lot of people say, well, older folks aren't on TikTok, but they are because I follow some Native American grandmas on there. Okay.
They
Everybody.
love them. They love
Yes.
the grandma content. Oh my God.
Yes.
Grandma content is huge, massive.
There's a place for everybody. And also, that could be part of what makes you special and stand out. It could be your age, it could be some kind of unique perspective that you have. I follow one guy who has a very big birthmark on his face. And he talks about how self-conscious he is about it. And yet it's kind of his superpower because it makes him stand out. Like if I'm scrolling and I see that video, I'm like, oh, it's Pete. So I'm going to watch it, right? You never know what you might think is weird, like about you or you don't like. It might actually be what makes you stand out. So I love that.
On that first TikTok video that blew up, if you read more in the comments, you will see I was made fun of for my teeth. Someone said my teeth were, what was the words they used exactly? I don't know, something about being horrifying or something. I will tell you, growing up, I had a lot of insecurities about my teeth because I have really like sharp canines, vampire style teeth, right? I was so insecure about that growing up. And now so many people find it attractive. I've realized, you know what, that's unique to me. Not everybody has that. So I'm going to own that. And it makes those two comments. I'm like, that says more about you than about me if you have to come spend part of your day to tell me that. But two, every single comment, like, watch, everything builds you up massively. So the more comments you get on that, the better. That's why I like controversial content.
I've seen sometimes that even if someone does say something mean, like I follow this one influencer, she's plus size, and she is very much like, I am here to help other women who are bigger, right? Like that's her thing. And she always gets hate in the comments, and her people come to bat for her. Like her people will come back and comments and like, who are you? Get out of here! Why are you following her? You know, and that also helps her strategically because now she's got more comments, videos are getting pushed out, and it also shows like this amazing community that she's building. It's not just about getting followers; it's like these people love her, and it also is kind of funny. It's like, why are you following her? Why are you keep commenting? Anyway. Talk about getting clients though. How does
Yep.
that work? How do we get people watching our videos to then actually booking with us? How does that actually look?
That one video that made people start looking into all my other videos. And once they realized that there was a pattern that I knew my stuff, they're like, okay, she really knows her stuff because she's literally showed me this advice, this advice, this advice, this advice. I feel like I can trust to come to her for my vacation. And then I decided to build a Google customer intake form and I put that link on my TikTok and I said, if anybody wants to book with me, because at the time you couldn't DM on TikTok, now you can, and it'll go to a message request folder, but then you didn't have that. So I would just say, go to this link if you wanted a request. And at the time I was doing free bookings. I got like 250 requests. It was beyond overwhelming. Everybody wanted vacation within like a month or two because this was in heart of spring, summer. Whew, it was a lot. And I will say that I've gained agents on my team from that. I've also gained a lot of people who ended up booking some really incredible travel with me. A couple did their honeymoon with me. I actually got to talk to them on the phone. I got to talk to the mother-in-law while they were on the trip that was booking their activities. And I feel like they're my friends now. And I've never met them. Literally, I know them through TikTok. They watched my videos, they trusted me with their honeymoon, and they ended up doing this really elaborate, amazing honeymoon in Mexico. How you do that is you build the trust, you give them a place to go. If you're doing free ones, awesome. Now I charge a $50 booking fee that people still don't mind paying. Why? Because they trust me. There's other travel agents out there that are doing it for free, but they're not building the same kind of trust with the followers I have as I am. So some people are going to relate to me and they're going to want to book with me because they trust me and they see my consistency and they see what I do. Also, the fact that I know the industry, I really push that out there a lot. If your niche is, say, cruising, for example, I am not well versed in cruising. That's something I'm starting to tap into, but I am not well versed in it. But if you are somebody that is well versed in cruising, sell the fact that you know cruises in and out and why you know it. Are you somebody that cruises often? Go to cruising like events, like sell that aspect of you, because people will trust you with cruises. They're like, I'm not going to go to Mia. She doesn't even do cruises. Like, she doesn't even talk about them. But if you're somebody that does and you can tell them why they should trust you for that, you're going to get those clients. It's about putting yourself out there, giving them advice, getting them reasons why they should trust you. And I'm telling you, it didn't take very many videos for me. And my entire inbox was full. You just got to start.
250 requests is insane. Like
It
I
was a
can't,
lot.
I would be so overwhelmed. I mean, even me, I've been doing this for 4 years and she's nodding her head yes. I would be so overwhelmed if I had 250 at one time. Thank you so much for sharing all this. And yeah, I have one more question for you, really, aside from where we can find you. And I know I showed your TikTok already, so people are probably going to go follow you. But what if someone who's listening or watching this isn't a travel agent yet? They might have found this video or been sent this video because they're looking into it, they're considering it. You mentioned that you have agents on your team that have found you from TikTok and people that have wanted to become agents. And I can see why your content is so aspirational. People see it, they're like, oh, I want that life too. So what if someone's watching or listening to this and they're not an agent yet and they're wondering like, oh, maybe I can do this, but I don't really know anything about social media. I'm still so new to this thing. Like, what would you tell them if they're thinking about it?
I mean, you don't have to necessarily be on social media to make money. I think it gives you a bigger, wider audience out there. Just studying people that you relate to, studying their style, studying their format, and kind of adopting your own. I did a lot of studying before I started what I did on TikTok. But if you can just get to this courage of making that one video and starting it from there, even if you do this before, if you decide to be a travel agent down the road and you just start by putting yourself out there on social media, you might not even have to be a travel agent. You might end up becoming a travel influencer and not even tapping into that. But what's nice when you are in the travel agent realm is that you have another income stream, right? Like, I am building a little bit of this influencer content creator. I do have the Amazon storefront. I do work with different brand deals that now reach out to me. So I have multiple income revenue coming from just my TikTok alone, as well as clients. TikTok is a big funnel for clients for me. So you don't have to be a travel agent if that's not the route that you want to go. And you can still make a really good income from social media, but it is nice as another way to make some really good money because commissions are pretty great.
Yeah, like just telling people in our group chat today, because I was looking at our dashboard. So I have one girl who is making $5,800 from one booking next month, and another girl who made like 3,000 in commissions this month. Another one's making like 2,000 in commissions this month. I just want you to know it's possible. And what I usually tell people is have some kind of service first, especially if you have no following at all, because you can make money without having a following, right? Because you have like your people in your town, you have your in-person community. But then I think it's really good to have some kind of social media and some long form content if you can, ideally. That's like a blog, podcast, or YouTube channel, because of the other opportunities and because it opens you up to more things later. I just did a training about getting paid to plan itineraries. That's an additional income stream. You could sell not only the product you make itself, but the service of planning itineraries. There is just this whole world that opens up for you. And I really think that being a travel agent is like one of those doors that you step through and then everything else just opens up. So I'm so happy to hear all these other things are happening for you. And I'm so proud of you. Mia, where can someone go if they want to learn more from you personally, or if they want to connect with you online?
Yeah, so you guys saw my TikTok earlier, but I'm at Living Blissfully. Obviously, TikTok is my focus, my bread and butter, but I also do have an Insta if you're not on TikTok, and that's Passport to Living Blissfully. That's my business name. I do have a website where I hope to do more of the blogging thing as I open up more time in my schedule. But my website is miawithlove.com. So those are the three places.
So cute. I love Mia with Love. I feel like it just fits your personality. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it, Mia.
Yeah, thank you.